There you go, friends. Doc South here, and about ready to head into work. Oh, yeah. One of those murky days. I think a little bit of drizzle in the air. I got a feeling I'll be pushing carts. That or I'll be in the front after I push carts I think it's raining out and get myself good and wet. Then probably I'll have to go work in the frozen food locker. And if I'm walking like this, can't because my clothes got soaked and everything froze. Yeah, you'll just have someone have someone who has at least a little strength. Maybe they can lift me into perhaps over into the bakery department and put me near the baking oven until I thaw out. Well, we'll see what happens. But that's all part of a busy day in any given store. Actually, almost, you get right down to it, almost all of us are busy doing one thing or another, aren't we? Huh? Oh my gosh. If you got a job, you can't just, lounge around on the job, can you? No, you got to keep busy. At work, at home rather, there's more than enough to do there, right? Oh my gosh. Dishes to wash, lawns to mow. Ay, ay, ay. But one other thing we can do too, I think, and I was just thinking of this, and it's like these videos I do. I do these videos to make people a little happier. Just to, I don't know if I have any great insights to give anyone, but these these videos I hope make people. We have a fair amount of people listening to these and checking them out, and I'm assuming you're enjoying them. If I can put a smile on your face, well, that's what they're there for. And I got to thinking, we all would do uh, we all would do well to think of something we can do that's fun for us to do, but also will make someone's day or someone's week or life in general a little better. I don't know quite how to put it, but in other words, I mean, if you already belong to some organization that does this kind of thing, good. But you can also do a lot of this stuff on your own too, like I do with the videos. But maybe maybe you're good at cooking. Maybe you could go cook some stuff up special. Maybe your church has uh, something where they feed perhaps the needy in their area. Maybe you could bring some food over to the church and say, "Look, I understand you check with them first, but say I have I make this really great meatloaf. Could I make a few meatloaves uh, for your parishioners who are perhaps not uh, doing so well financially?" Um, Maybe I don't know. There's fundraisers you could do to help people with just who are in a jam one way or another. Uh, Maybe job search, uh, job searching for people who can't quite figure out where to go to go to work. Maybe you can get them hired somewhere. That's something that they can do. I don't know. If you sit down and really think about it, there's a gazillion things that can be done relatively easily that will make someone's life a little happier. It's it's I think the nice thing is too is while you're thinking about the things you can do to help, don't your problems tend to go away a little bit? Huh? Yeah, you kind of put them on the side burner. Think what you can for for those that are less fortunate, and next thing you know, you're feeling pretty good about things. And that little problem you had, whatever it might be, has disappeared. Or if it hasn't disappeared, maybe Maybe you've thought of some way in with all that thinking. You may have found some way to straighten out the bad situation maybe you were in, or maybe it just plain goes away. I don't know. I'm just I'm thinking it. I may not be saying this right, and forgive me if I'm not, but it's it's like if you're thinking about the good things that can be done, next thing you know, you'd be surprised how the good things get done. And pretty soon, some of the problems you may have had don't seem so bad. It's like when I was in rescue. When I was doing rescue work, I was coming off of an awful divorce. It was really a sad, rotten thing to go through, and I was very low about it. But I signed on at a rescue squad down in North Carolina. I was living down there then and feeling very lonely and all. And I just immersed myself into the rescue squad. Next thing you know, I was helping people. I was going to places where people had it way worse than me. Yeah, as you can imagine. Um, and I found that helping those people helped me. Oh, there were times I came home from an ambulance shift, a rescue shift, and just stood in the middle of my the little room I was uh, in, uh, my little apartment, and I just cried my heart out. But that all said and done, I also got to thinking somewhere in all that hey, I'm still breathing. We helped that person. It was rough, but we got them through. And I started feeling a little better for having been of help. And somehow or another, next thing you know, you're starting to feel better for the things you have done, and you feel. I may not be saying this right. I feel like I may not be doing it quite right, but helping others helps you. Finding something to do that's of service somehow really does make a difference. And next thing you know, if you're down in the dumps, all of a sudden you ain't so down in the dumps. It's I hope I'm getting this through right, but do you see what I mean? Being of service does do the trick. That's kind of like the supermarket I work at. I suppose I could find some better job, but helping to keep people fed, uh, I don't know, just kind of fits the bill for me right now. And doing these videos, I like doing these, and hopefully they have some. Uh, well, perhaps people have interest in them and enjoy them, and um, possibly learn a little bit here and there from what I'm doing with them. Uh, Hard to say, but well, I hope you'll continue and again think on something, somewhere, somehow you can do within your within your ability to make the world a better place, even if it's just a little nothing or a little just something small. Be surprised how a whole lot of small things will turn into a big thing. Give it time. Okay. I hope I'm explaining this right, and we'll leave it at that for now. Because oddly enough, I got to get to work at the supermarket. Uh, I imagine I imagine today I'll either be pushing carts in the rain, getting them back in so they're nice and dry for people, or I'll be possibly in the dairy cooler, like sticking milk on the shelf, or I'll be perhaps in the frozen food department, or all three. Gee, I hope I don't get too wet. out in the parking lot, then go into the frozen food locker, I'll be like, "Arr!" Bunch of icicles dripping from my head. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen. I hope. But you see what I mean. The I guess going at the I guess the key would be here going at the world with an attitude of if I see something messed up, I'm going to see what I can do to unmess it. If I see someone who needs some help, I'm going to help them. You see what I'm saying? I think that's a good road to be on. I'll catch you later. Bye now. God bless.